Have you ever noticed that sometimes your computer becomes slow when you open too many apps, or maybe it starts lagging while switching between tasks? The reason behind this is RAM. In this video, we will explain what RAM is and how it works in the simplest way possible. What is RAM? RAM stands for Random Access Memory. It is a type of memory that your computer uses to store data temporarily. Think of RAM as your computer's short-term memory. It holds the data that your system is currently using so that it can access it quickly. Why RAM is important? RAM is very important because it makes your computer fast and responsive. When you open an application, like a browser or a game, the data is loaded into RAM. This allows your computer to access the data instantly instead of loading it again and again from storage. How RAM works? Let's understand this in a simple way. When you open a program, your computer takes data from storage, like your hard drive or SSD, and puts it into RAM. Then the CPU uses this data from RAM to perform tasks quickly. So the process is storage RAM CPU. This makes everything faster. What happens when RAM is full? Now imagine you open too many apps at the same time. Your RAM starts to fill up. When RAM becomes full, your computer becomes slow because it starts using storage instead of RAM, which is much slower. That is why your system lags when you multitask too much. More RAM equals better performance. In most cases, yes, more RAM allows your computer to handle more tasks at the same time. For example, for GB RAM basic use, 8 GB RAM normal use, 16 GB or more gaming and heavy tasks. But RAM is not the only factor. CPU and storage also matter. RAM versus storage. Many people confuse RAM with storage, like a hard drive or SSD. Keeps your data permanently, but RAM only stores data temporarily while your computer is running. When you turn off your computer, RAM is cleared. RAM and multitasking. RAM plays a big role in multitasking. If you have more RAM, you can open many tabs, run multiple apps, switch tasks smoothly. Without enough RAM, your system struggles. So let's quickly recap. RAM is temporary memory. It stores data that your computer is currently using. It helps your system run fast, and more RAM improves multitasking performance. Now you understand what RAM is and why it is important. If you want more simple tech videos like this, subscribe to Byte Board, and tell us in the comments, what should we explain next, GPU, SSD, or how Wi-Fi works?